Right, I'm going to start today with installing this motor in the frame. So obviously I need to remove the ignition units again, the coils, carbs need to come off, the oil filter in the front needs to come off, so unfortunately it means I have to drain the oil. Let's see, but before I do any of the installation, there's actually a slight oil leak. You can see it. There's actually a slight oil leak on this bike. You can see it's got a drip over there. And I think it's coming from behind this oil pump. So I'm going to pull the oil pump out and see if I can spot why it's leaking. It looks like a bad gasket. One other thing I want to do is I want to remove the tappets again. The tappet plugs. Last time I adjusted the tappets, I set the intakes to 0.13mm and the exhaust to 0.15mm. I did in the meantime look at the manual, and actually both inlet and exhaust are at 0.05mm. So that's quite small, but that's what the manual calls for, so I will be setting them as the manual asks. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I've pulled the oil pump now, so let me show you what I have found to be the problem. You can see these oil rings with a little dowel pin to keep it located. So as I took the pump off, you can see this one's damaged. And the little dowel pin, this is the dowel pin, you can see it was flattened. I think what happened is it fell skew like that. There's the O-ring, completely ruined. If we go look at the motor, it's the same story. You can see there's the location for it. It's got a little bit of a nick. Unfortunately, it's not a big problem. I did look for more dowel pins. Unfortunately, I don't have one this size, but I can straighten that one out, put in a fresh oil ring. I think it will seal up fine, but just to be extra cautious, I will put a little bit of sealer around there as well. So let me get to that. So while I'm busy preparing now to put the motor in, I noticed the swing arm bolt was missing, which also led me to realizing, oh, there's gaps here, a gap there. So I went to have a look in my box of spares, and here they are. These are the little spaces. They come in there, one in each side. So I'm going to put one in now. It's much easier to do now than later. Okay, I've put the seals in now. One that side and one this side. It does have a grease nipple here, so at some stage I will grease it up. But let's see now if I can get the engine into this. Okay, the motor's in. I've only got the one bolt in over there. There's another one that needs to go in down at the bottom here, one on each side. I've got a bolt that goes through here, plus a spacer that needs to go in there. As you can see, my finger can fit in there. And then there's a bracket up front here. I do actually have the bracket here, but I discovered it's not painted, but that's where it goes. So I will not mount this front one for now. I will need to get it painted. But I will mount the other 3 bolts in, and then that will be it. Motor's quite heavy, so it was quite a mission to fit in there. I can put the oil filter housing back in as well now. And yeah. Okay, so the motors, all mounting bolts are in place now. I've put the oil filter back in the front there. I've put the oil back in the motor. So the next thing will kind of be fitting the accessories, such as the coils, which will mount over there somewhere. Carburetors that need to be put on. I need to figure out the airbox and everything that goes under the seat there as well. So I need to just have a look and see what I've got and where everything goes and so forth. Okay, as I'm progressing further and further with this build now, I'm starting to realize a couple of things. So I went to scratch around in my parts. I found the old airbox. There's the filter. It slots into this. So it's an old airbox, and this is also part of the airbox. This mounts there behind the carbs and so on. But there's a lot of parts that are missing. Small things, some things which are a little bit more important. But what's good is, obviously, as you've seen, I've got 2 bikes, the 400 and the 350. And these two bikes share a lot of parts together. So I think the easiest way to tackle this will be for me next to look at the motor of the 350. So strip the 350 down. I've got no idea what's wrong with the motor here. If I push the Kickstarter, you can hear the connecting rods in there. They're busy knocking around. There's no pistons in this bike, so I'm not sure why they're out. The motor needs to come out. It needs to be stripped. We need to see what's going on here. So I think that will be the good thing. I'll take the motor out. We'll put the motor on the test stand that I've got so that I can work on this motor. And in the process, as I work through it, things like airbox rubbers and that, which is on this bike but not on the 400, I'll be able to take them out as a sample and go scratch at my bike scrapyard that's around in town. If I can't find the parts there, then I know exactly what the stuff looks like. I can look online and see what if I can find the new parts, and so forth. But between the two bikes, I've got everything for one complete bike, which is, like I said, the good thing. So I think that will be the next thing. The exhausts also need to come off this bike. They belong in the 400. So I would like to take them off, see what the condition is of them, probably get the thing sandblasted, get it welded up with these little holes and so on, and I'd actually like to have it re-chromed. It will look nice. So I think that's where I'm going to go next with the build. So, but that I'm going to do in the next video. So I'm going to end this video off right now. Motors in the other bike. So that completes this section of this build now. So next video I will be stripping down the 350, and we'll be having a look at that one's motor.